All right. Today I'm here helping you get ready for the digital debate that we're going to do. So we're going to start off with just going over, ways to research and what we should be doing to have an effective Google search. So on this slide, there's a couple of resources I just want to go over really quickly. This first one over here on the left is how you can determine if the information you're finding online is credible or not. So is it real or is it fake? So remember, we need to pay attention to who wrote it, why they put it online, how recent or how old it might be. Thinking about if it's biased at all, is it very opinionated? And we just need to be critical of that to make sure that we are using good sources. So another thing that can help you with that is this chart right next door. And let me just go over these URL domains again because they're really important. They tell us a lot of information. So .govs are government websites. Typically, we can trust those. Those are good to go. .orgs, same thing. They're not making any money off their website, so typically it is a good source to use. Same with .edu. Usually those are researchers or scientists at colleges doing that actual research and posting it online. Good source. But here's what I want you to really pay attention to when you're doing your research is wiki and blogs, especially with arguments and debates. Any Joe Schmo can put their opinion online, but it does not make them qualified. So I would highly suggest staying away from those websites that have wiki or blog in them. And .com, you need to do a little digging deeper just to figure out using this information over here, who wrote it? Are they qualified? Is it recent and up to date? Does it seem very opinionated, and so on. So for today, we are going to be using this research tracker in order to do some Google searching. So of course, you'll put your claim up top. And my claim, the example I'm going to be using is that cell phones are not necessary in the classroom, but I think they should be allowed in downtime. So, lunch and recess and those types of times. So my first research question that I want to do some research on is how do cell phones affect student learning? So I'm going to go over to Google, and what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to type in how are cell phones helpful, because Google's going to be looking for that question, not the answer. So I might type in something like cell phones in school, data maybe, and I might find some research done. And so even before I click on a website, I'm already going to look through to see what I can trust. See, this one's a .org, cell phones in the classroom. Okay, and look, I see a recent college study. I see a statistic there. That one seems like probably a pretty good source. NEA.org, I also know that's the National Education something. And it looks like they also have some data, so that might be good. Oh, but here we go. Blog. So this is just some Joe Smo putting their opinion out on the web. So I want to stay away from that one. Here's a .gov. So there might be some information in there that sounds good. I also know that CNBC is a pretty big news media outlet. So that might actually be a trusted source, even though it's a .com, because I know this actual website. Like I might know CNN or National Geographic. We all know those places, so they might be a good place to go. So I'm going to click on this one, the NEA.org, using smartphones in the classroom. So then I might just kind of skim through, look for, I like to look for numbers and statistics and sources that they use. According to data compiled by the research firm Nielsen, 85% of American children from 13 to 17 owned a smartphone in 2012, an increase of more than 60%. So that's kind of an important thing to think about is the amount of students that have phones and access to phones has increased. But not really what I'm looking for, because remember, I'm trying to answer this research question, how do cell phones affect student learning? So I'm not even going to read that whole article because it doesn't seem very helpful. But maybe I might go to this one now, a college study that looked at students that bring their cell phone to the classroom.